Hi, I am Alex, and I'm here to tell you about something that is really important, I think, for you to know. I started cutting myself when I was 11 years old. I cut because my English project was due and my mom was yelling at me, and I was just really stressed out. And I remember my friend had told me, well, I cut myself the other day, and I was like, well, maybe if I cut myself it would make things better, it would make everything okay. And I remember writing a note to my mom saying, Mom, I cut myself. And that started it. Then I had stopped for a year, and then in 7th grade I started again. And the summer transitioning between 7th and 8th grade I started doing it more. Throughout 8th grade I started doing it more, and summer transitioning between 8th and 9th grade I began doing it more and more. And just the amount of times I did it increased. And I would normally do it on my upper thighs, sometimes on my arms. I was always afraid to cut my wrists. I did my hands once. I did my stomach. It was multiple places. And I wouldn't only cut myself. When I would go try to stop cutting, I would end up burning or beating myself. And when I wanted to cut but didn't have a razor, I would just scratch myself really hard. There came a point in time recently where I wanted to tear my skin off, and I just started scratching my wrist, and as it healed I started cutting over it, and yeah. But this video is not for you to only hear my story. This video is for self-harmers watching this video to tell people about their story and raise awareness about self-harm, because it is a serious subject that I don't think people take seriously enough. People don't understand why we self-harm or what we feel when we self-harm. And people think we just do it for attention, or people think we're just ungrateful emo kids who just whine about their lives. And we know that's not the case. But non-self-harmers, they don't understand that. And they need to. Because the bullying and the ridicule and it all needs to end. Because we should not be ashamed of what helps us cope. We should not have to go through the day hiding our cuts or scars or bruises or bald patches or our torn off skin. We shouldn't have to hide that because we're afraid of what people will say. We shouldn't have to be ashamed of who we are. So, why do I self-harm? I self-harm because I like blood. I like the way it looks. I like the feeling. It helps me when I'm stressed out. It makes me feel okay, and it makes me focus on one thing instead of the million things in the world. And it makes me feel okay. Now, why do other people do it? It's for different reasons. I do not cut because I want to die. I cut for control, for relief, and for blood. Not because I want to die. If I wanted to die, I would take a gun to my head and kill myself. I wouldn't do this. And that's a common misconception that people who self-harm want to die. Or are doing it because they want to die. A lot of people who self-harm want to die, but they don't self-harm to die, if that makes sense. So if you are watching this and you're afraid to speak up in a video or at all, I'm not really expecting people to speak up to this, but if you're afraid to speak up to anyone, don't be. Because I was afraid for a really long time to tell anyone. And, you know, I don't regret telling my mom or my friends. I'm getting the help I need. And I don't think you should be stuck in a hole that you can't get yourself out of. And I think you should have that support from your mom or your dad or your grandma or whoever you live with or your friends. And if you don't have a family you can go to or friends, then go to your school counselor. Go to a trusted teacher. Just tell an adult that you trust. And a lot of people say, well, I don't trust any adults because all adults don't understand. You need to find someone who understands. And trust me, your school counselor, as much as you don't think so, will understand because they have seen a lot. And if you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm here. I really am. I know everyone says that, but I really, truly, genuinely am here for you. For whatever you're going through, I will listen. I might not give the best advice, but I swear to God I will listen. So, yeah. I hope this inspired anyone or someone to speak up about self-harm and to raise awareness and to just stop being ashamed, because we shouldn't be ashamed of who we are. So, have a good day or night or whatever it is where you are when you're watching this.